Namaskar children, welcome to Chetna Asava's IT class. Today we shall learn making a variable and using variable in a Scratch program. What is a variable? A variable is a placeholder in Scratch memory that is used to store a changing value. A variable can hold one value at a time. These values can either be number or strings. Strings means text. A variable can be used to store the input given by the user and use it in the program later. It can also be used to store the changing score in a Scratch program. Let's learn how to create a variable. In Scratch, the data block is used to create a variable. The steps to create a variable are: Step 1. Click on Make a Variable block of Data Blocks palette. Step 2. Type any suitable name for the variable. Step 3. Select whether the variable is for all sprites or for this sprite only and click OK. The new variable and related command blocks for manipulating it, for working with that variable, will appear in the data blocks palette. Let us understand this. Click on the data block. You will get this command, make a variable. Click on it. As you click on make a variable, this dialog box will appear for creating a new variable. Type the variable name like A in the variable name box. Choose for all sprites option and click OK. When you click on OK, you will find these blocks added to the data blocks palette. These blocks help us to work with the variable and use it in our program. Let us see a simple program using a variable. Here, this program stores any value in the variable and displays that value. See the script. When flag is clicked, ask what is your name and wait. You remember children, the ask block is used to get input from the user. So the sprite will ask this question and wait for the user to enter the text or a number in the input box. I enter my name here, click on the checkbox. The text answered is saved in the answer block. Now I use the variable command set name to answer. So the variable will store my name in it. We shall learn this by doing the practical. Next, we are going to use variable in a Scratch program. We will create a math genie to understand how a variable stores the input data and how that input data can be used in a Scratch program. So let's begin with our Scratch practicals. We will do program 1 first. Remove the cat sprite. Add any sprite of your choice. Select the sprite. Click OK. After adding the sprite, we begin with the script. When flag is clicked, the sprite will ask the user to enter his name. So, first of all, we have to create the name variable. Click on data block, select make a variable. The new variable box appears. Type the name for the variable. Suppose the name is name. Select for all sprites. Click OK. You can see more commands are added to the data block for the name variable. Now from the sensing block, use ask what is your name. Again go to looks block, use say hello for 2 seconds. From the sensing block, we use answer block to store the input. Now to store the input into the variable, go to data block. We use set name to 0. In place of 0, put the answer block. So whatever value is entered by the user will be used to store in the name block. Let us run the program. You can see here the variable name is displayed and its value is displayed. Initially, the value of any variable is 0. Run the program. The sprite asks what is your name. I type my name, click on the checkbox. The sprite repeats my name and then the input value is stored in the variable. So here my name Chetna is stored in the variable name. Let us see another program now. To create a math genie. It is a very interesting program which you all would love to create. Add a suitable background. Suppose I take slopes background, click OK. Then add a sprite. I am using host 1. Click OK. Place the sprite on a suitable place. Now let us start the script. Click on events block. When flag is clicked, let us introduce the maths genie. Say hello children. Next dialog. I am a math genius. Next dialog. You give me any two numbers and I will give their some product difference and quotient to you. We can change the timings as required for each dialogue. For a longer dialogue, we can have more timings. Like I make the timings 10 seconds here and give the longer dialogue. You give me any two numbers. I'm making the dialogue shorter because it is not fitting in my script area. And I will give their some difference product and quotient. Adjust the timings accordingly. Now let us begin with the actual script. This was dialogues to introduce the Genie. Now we start our program with two variables. Click on the data block, make a variable, select and give the first variable name as A. Create one more variable, give the variable name as B. Initially, we set the value of both the variables to 0. Set A to 0 and set B to 0. If you want to change the variable, we have a drop down box here. When I create more variables, I can select the variable from this drop down box. Now, the sprite will use these variables for the calculations, but first it will ask the user to enter the values. So we will use ask block of sensing palette. Ask, give the message, enter the first number. When user enters the first number, we will store that value in the variable A. So set A to answer, whatever is the value given by the user. In the same way, we will give commands to enter the second number. And set B to answer. So the second number will be stored in B. Now the Genie will start calculating and giving the answers. So we use the say block. The sum of two numbers is. In the next say block, we will display the sum of A and B. To find the sum, we go to operators block, use addition block in place of say, and give the values of the variable A and B. To give the values of variable A and B, we will select the variable and drop it in the operators block. The sprite will add A and B. Put this in say block. Next, to find the difference, the sprite will say the difference of two numbers is, instead of addition block, we will use subtraction block and put the variable A and B in this block. Now, to find the product, set the dialog, remove the subtraction block, use multiplication block with the variables A and B. The last one now, that is the quotient after division. Here we will use the division operator. Put variables A and B. Add it to value box of say command. Adjust the timings for each say block. Now you can see here the two variables are created, A and B. The value is set to 0. Let us run and check the program. Hello children, I am a math genius. You give me any two numbers, I will give their sum, difference, product and quotient. Enter the first number. Suppose the user enters the first number as 20, clicks on the check mark, enter the second number 5. You can see the variables get this number 20 and 5 and the sum is 25. The difference is 15. The product is 100. The quotient is 4. So you see the Math Genie calculates the sum, difference, product and quotient correctly and gives the correct answers. So that's all for today. Practice both the programs once again. Bye bye.